It was the lady of the gods drew the form of his figure, while his build was perfected by divine Nundimond. Nundimond. Nudimmud. A triple cubit was his foot, half a rod his leg. 6 cubits was his stride. Cubits the front part of his. Like when they speak, it's speaking poetry, but they speak like you kind of like have to read it yourself and then have to go over it again to like understand. Like they say everything twice. They don't just say it once, they say it twice, and then they say it the second time. They might say it the same way, but even if they say it the same way, it means differently when you say it the second time. I don't know how they wrote this like this. And then sometime it might change a little bit, but they change a little bit to say the same thing that they said in the first line. Because it's poetry. It's an anonymous and an anonymous. That how they found these tablets, right? I'm not exactly sure, as a matter of fact, how they found it. But it was said that it was an anonymous poet. They don't know who the poet is. They don't know who wrote it for sure. But the guy who translated it, that did some of the work or most of the work or that got to it, was this guy named George Smith in the 1800s. So, you know. So then it says, his cheeks were bearded like those of the hair of his head grew thickly as barley. When he grew tall, his beauty was consummate. By earthly standards, he was almost handsome. In Uruk the sheepfold, he walks back and forth like the wild bull lording it, head held aloft. He has no equal when his weapons are brandished. His companions are kept on their feet by his contestants. The young men of Uruk he harries without warrant. Gilgamesh lets no son go free to his father. By day and by night, his tyranny grows harsher. Gilgamesh, the guide of the teeming people. It is he who is shepherd of Uruk the sheepfold. But Gilgamesh lets no daughter go free to her mother. The woman voiced their troubles to the goddess. They brought their complaint before them. So what's that saying right there, right? This is crazy. Because now I'm reading it a second time. Now I'm getting a different meaning, right? This is madness. So it says, the young men of Uruk, he harries without warrant. Harries. What does harries mean? I have to look up each word now because based on the meaning, it might mean something else, right? Harry is a verb, third person present. Okay. Presently carried out attacks on an enemy or an enemy's territory. Persistently harassed. Okay. Carries out attacks on an enemy or enemy territory, right? I bet. So it says the young men of Uruk, he harries without warrant. Okay. So basically, he takes the sons, which I guess, you know, the fathers are old, they're not going to do much, but they take the son, which is young and energetic and probably of strength, and uses them for battle when he needs to go and just take over territory when he needs to. And use them for whatever he needs to get done, I guess within the city, to build a building or whatever. He bosses them around, right? And it says, by day and by night, his tyranny grows harsher. Gilgamesh, the guide of the teeming people, right? So that means he's just going wild, right? He's just really strict on these people. But let's not forget, right? He's not just a man, right? This man, it says a triple cubit was his foot. So I looked it up, right? A cubit A cubit you can count from your elbow to the tip of your middle finger, right? And you could say just about that's 1 cubic, right? So put your elbow down on the desk and measure to the tip of your middle finger. That's 1 cubic. It says his foot, a triple cubic was his foot. So times that by 3 is 1 foot. Half a rod his leg, 6 cubics was his stride. And you got 6 cubics. So basically, him just casually walking will be us running to catch him. Just casually walking will be us running to even keep up. We basically have to start jogging at that point because he's just casually walking and we have to start jogging to keep up. Right? So you could imagine this big old hunk of a person walking down the street. You ain't trying to fight that. You're not trying to. And then you could bet that the army that he has with the people that he draws from these towns or from the place, because he's ruling Uruk, right? It's a whole city, 3 square miles long, right? So that's a big city. He has everybody. You got an army like that. That army is not fazed by anything because you can't beat him. No matter what you do, you can't beat him. He's in the front of the pack and he's in the back. He has your side no matter what, right? Because what did it say? What did it say? Right? It says, in Uruk the sheepfold walks back and forth like a bull lording it, head held aloft. He has no equal when his weapons are brandished. His companions are kept on their feet by his contests. It says, surpassing all other kings, heroic in stature, brave scion of Uruk, wild bull of the rampage. Going at the fore, he was the vanguard. Going at the rear, one of his comrades could trust. It says, surpassing all kings, heroic in stature, brave scion of Uruk, wild bull on the rampage. Going at the fore, he was the vanguard. Going at the rear, one his comrades could trust. I'm always adding words because in my mind, I'm just trying to fill in the blank, but there is no fill in the blank because as soon as I fill in the blank, it changes the meaning of the thing, of the poetry, and it's beautiful poetry. I read the Popol Vuh and I started to read it. It's the creation story, but told in a different way. And I mean, the poetry is just wicked, yo. I don't know. I like reading it. Where did I left off now, right? So they talk about two. He says, it is he who is shepherd of Uruk, the sheepfold, right? They talk about Gilgamesh, but Gilgamesh lets no daughter go free to her mother. Now, what does that mean? Now, it doesn't let her go free to her mother, so he captures them. That's what I got at first. He captures them and do whatever he wants with them. Maybe he just have them capsize at the house serving him in whatever way. So that's what I first drew from that sentence, right? So then it says, the woman voiced their troubles to the goddesses. They brought their complaints before them. Off rip, it tells you that there's more than one goddesses. There's more than one she gods, I guess. Because goddesses is like a female version of a god. So she's a goddess. So goddesses, they brought their complaint before them. That's what it says, right? All right, bet.